Hi, welcome back to 5 Minute Mark. Today I'll be recapping the first season of The Walking Dead Episode 1, a sci-fi post-apocalyptic TV series, in just 5 minutes. Watch out, spoilers ahead. Sheriff Rick Grimes and his partner, Shane Walsh, are parked in their patrol car having their meal and chatting about Rick's wife Lori and his young son Carl. Their casual conversation is interrupted when a call comes through the police radio reporting two armed suspects fleeing in a vehicle. Rick and Shane join the pursuit and manage to intercept the car, forcing it to flip. A shootout breaks out between the officers and the criminals. Rick is shot, but his bulletproof vest stops the round. The police take down the suspects, but none of them notice a third man hiding behind the car. The hidden gunman steps out and shoots Rick, this time hitting him badly. As Rick falls to the ground, Shane rushes to his side before Rick loses consciousness. Rick later wakes up in a hospital, disoriented and weak. He notices the flowers Shane left for him have long dried out, suggesting he has been unconscious for far longer than expected. He tries calling for a nurse but receives no response. Struggling to move, he falls from the bed, but eventually manages to stand and limp into the hallway. The hospital is silent, filthy, and unsettlingly empty. He approaches a barricaded door with "Don't open, dead inside" written on it. Hands suddenly claw through the crack, terrifying him. Panicking, he stumbles down a dark stairwell with only a box of matches for light and escapes outside. Stepping into the sunlight, Rick is horrified by what he sees. Rows of dead bodies lined up on the ground, abandoned military equipment, and a fallen makeshift camp. The world he once knew is clearly gone. He finds a bicycle, but as he picks it up, he notices a mutilated woman, only half a body, crawling toward him. Shocked, Rick flees on the bike and heads home, desperately hoping to find Lori and Carl. Instead, he arrives to an empty, ransacked house. Trying to convince himself this is just a nightmare, he slaps his own face, but reality refuses to change. Rick sits on the porch in confusion and despair before noticing a man slowly approaching. Rick waves at him, unaware he is a walker. Before the walker can get close, a young boy sneaks up behind Rick and knocks him out with a shovel. The boy's father shoots the walker and drags Rick inside. Rick wakes up to meet Morgan Jones and his son, Dwayne. Morgan explains that loud noises and lights attract the infected, people who are no longer alive and are now called walkers. When Rick asks why he shot the man outside, Morgan clarifies that walkers are not human anymore and cannot be reasoned with. The next day, Rick steps outside to see walkers for himself, confirming they are neither sick nor salvageable. They are dead. He returns to his home searching for any clue about Lori and Carl's whereabouts. Morgan gently tells him the chances of them being alive are slim. Rick refuses to accept that, pointing out that their photo albums are gone, meaning Lori must have packed them before leaving, giving him hope that his family escaped safely. Morgan explains that survivors were told to head to Atlanta, where a refugee center and the CDC might still be operational. Rick brings Morgan and Dwayne to his police station, where they finally have access to running water for the first time in a month. After cleaning up, Rick opens the station's armory and hands Morgan a rifle as thanks, keeping the rest of the weapons and ammunition in a duffel bag. He invites Morgan to join him on the trip to Atlanta, but Morgan declines, saying he has unfinished business, specifically putting down his walker wife, though he still cannot bring himself to pull the trigger. Rick gives him a walkie-talkie and promises to turn his on every morning so they can reconnect if Morgan changes his mind. Rick then encounters a former co-worker who has turned into a walker and reluctantly puts him down. On the road, Rick broadcasts over his police radio, hoping someone will hear him. Miles away, a small group of survivors, including Shane, hear Rick's voice but cannot reach him due to poor reception. Rick's car eventually runs out of fuel near a farmhouse, where he finds a horse and rides it toward Atlanta. Entering the city, he sees a helicopter overhead and desperately tries to follow it. But after turning a corner, Rick finds himself surrounded by an enormous herd of walkers. The horse panics, throwing him off, and Rick barely escapes into an abandoned tank. Trapped inside with walkers swarming on all sides, Rick hears a voice crackle through the tank's radio, another survivor contacting him, giving him his first spark of hope that he might not be alone. If you like this recap, leave a like and subscribe for more 5-minute movie breakdowns. I'll see you in the next one.